What's up, you absolute sweats, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving headfirst into First Descendants, and I'm here to help you pick the best character for your journey. Trust me, this isn't something you want to miss, because with experience from MMOs and just most games in general, having a choice makes it difficult for us to do anything, and we want to get it right. So let's see what this game has to offer. So I'm Biggie Sweats, and let's talk about First Descendants. So, First Descendants is a game akin to Destiny, Division. It kind of plays like that with that POV and whatnot. It's an epic game with incredible characters, each with their own unique abilities and playstyles. So, heavy firepower, tanks, DPS, magical abilities with guns, it's all thrown in there and given to you on separate Descendants, which are your characters that you get to choose from. So I'm going to break down the three that you will have to choose from the start of the game. So first up, on our roster of three, we're going to be having AJAX the tank. So like we said before, if you like being on the front lines, taking hits, being the backbone of your team, then AJAX is going to be your go-to character because he excels in defense and battlefield control with his shields, knockback abilities, crowd control, all of that good stuff. So we have AJAX's skills. Now, starting off, we have his passive skill, which is known as Event Horizon. So AJAX gathers void energy during combat to boost his other abilities. This passive is awesome for beginners because it gives you an edge without needing to think about it constantly. Now, I don't know what breaks my mind more when I'm having to constantly learn a million new abilities and what they do. So having something just going on in the background that helps me fight is always a bonus. His second ability is called Orbit Barrier, basically a huge shield put in front of him for his team and himself. This scales with HP and defense. Enhanced, it reflects damage back to the attackers. This skill is a perfect beginner skill as it provides clear, straightforward protection and it can turn your enemy attacks against them. Third, we have AJAX's Void Walk. So he leaps into the air, crashes down, dealing damage and stunning enemies. When it's enhanced, it will also increase his maximum shields for a short amount of time. It's a good beginner skill because it's got crowd control, but it can also get you out of tight spots. Next up, we have his fourth ability, which is Expulsion. This releases a shockwave that knocks back nearby enemies, giving your team some breathing room. It increases the knockback distance and his maximum shield when you enhance it. So as you can tell, it's always about giving yourself the highest possible shield, maximum health, so you can just sponge all the bullets and abilities for your team. It's great for beginners as it can help you manage overwhelming situations and help you stay in control. And finally, his ultimate, which is called Hypercube. This creates a huge dome shield that protects allies, reflects damage, and when it's enhanced, it also increases the shield's durability and its area size. It's a perfect beginner ultimate as it just provides major team protection for any tough battles or situations that you're having. So the reason AJAX is going to be a great beginner class comes down to three things, as many of these other characters do, but it's different for this tanky class. So it's going to be his durability, his simplicity, and his team protection. So he's offering high HP in a defense, making situations extremely forgiving for new players that might not be able to dodge or, just blast out what they need to blast out. He's got very basic skills, all about defense, all about returning damage and sponging damage, and just offers huge team protection for his, entire team. He's going to be the perfect character for players that love to be frontline fighters, diving in, getting involved. You're in the middle of it, you're getting smacked up by so many different enemies, and you're just there shooting your gun away, spamming your abilities. But also, he provides a lot of team play. So you're going to be the center of that team, stopping your team from wiping at every occasion. And finally, he's going to shine the most with his crowd control, and obviously, it's right on the nose, his defense. So his knockback abilities, stunning abilities, and his just huge protection abilities are going to just absolutely wipe the floor and keep, the real important people alive, like the DPS. The next character we have to talk about is VIESSA, the Ice Queen or Witch or, whatever you want to call her. She's got crazy ice abilities. VIESSA is all about controlling the battlefield and slowing down enemies. So if you're into that crowd control, but also high damage, sort of DPS, but staying away from the fight, then she's going to be perfect for you. VIESSA has 5 abilities, just like AJAX and just like all the other characters. Her passive ability is called Ice Sphere. This creates an ice sphere floating around a body when inflicting enemies with the ice shackle effect. The ice sphere will automatically fly towards enemies and deal damage to the target and its surroundings. Basically, it's just a background ability that's going to help you with crowd control even more. Very simple, very easy, nothing you need to worry about. So VS's first on usability is right on the nose, the most basic ice user ability of any game, and it's called Frost Shard. It's probably really self-explanatory, but you fire an exploding ice beam inflicting damage and ice shackle around the area it hits. Once you increase it, enhance the effect, it increases by 1 stage when hit, increases in 2 stages if hit by the exploding area. Next up, we have something called Frost Road. Again, it might be self-explanatory, but it increases the running speed and shield. And it creates ice sheets on the ground where VIESSA stands. When enemies come into contact with these ice sheets, they are afflicted with Ice Shackle, mentioned in all of the other abilities. It basically has an effect tied to the other abilities as well. They are inflicted with Ice Shackle. If you enhance this, it increases it by 2 stages. So basically, Ice Road is going to interact with your other abilities, making them stronger, making them proc, making them do certain things. For her fourth ability, we have Cold Snap. If those are familiar with World of Warcraft or have played that or Frost Mage on there, or they have Cone of Cold, it basically is an arc of damage firing out in front of her, and this inflicts damage and ice shackles. If you enhance it, it increases it by 2 stages. So as you've noticed, every active ability gives the enemy something called Ice Shackle. So this Ice Shackle then procs your passive ability, making that do damage and more things. So it's all about using that active ability and then passively proccing your passive Ice Sphere. And finally, her ultimate ability. Truthfully, this is the only one we really care about, but it is plain and simple. Most ice characters will always have this ability, and it's called Blizzard. So this creates a snowstorm that explodes over time, inflicting damage and ice shackle on enemies caught within it. If you enhance this, it increases it by 3 stages when hit and 4 stages if hit by an exploding area. This is basically just a case of, oh my god, loads of enemies are coming at me, boom, I whack it down in front of me, they all get frozen, procs your passive, boom, they're all dead. Simple as that. Great, great ultimate. So the reason VIESSA is a great beginner class is that she has crowd control, area denial, and supportive role, meaning she's able to freeze, block, and slow all her enemies. She can create zones in which you can just defend from or where the enemies have to avoid, but she can also continuously help her team by making walls, you know, blocking routes, slowing, and just making it so much easier for everyone else. So the types of players that are going to like VIESSA are strategic players and most likely supportive players, or genuinely anyone who loves ice abilities in games, which is me, because I adore being able to use ice. If I was a Pokemon trainer, I would be an ice type trainer. Facts. And finally, she shines in areas of area control and enemy disruption. Going over again, she can control key points with walls and her freezing fields, but also she can disrupt enemies, you know, lob a spear out, freeze chunks. Her blizzard controls so much of the battlefield. It's going to make it easy to just run down units with her. Finally, the last of the 3 is going to be LEPIC, the explosive expert. So if you love causing mayhem and just getting absolutely wild with AoE, then LEPIC is going to be your character to choose, because he's all about just dealing high damage with grenades and explosives. So once again, 5 abilities, starting with a passive called Close Call. So LEPIC has a chance to survive fatal damage, giving him a second chance in critical moments. Basically, you have a cheat death if you're familiar with WoW Rogue. So you die, but you don't actually die. So this provides great security for, you know, beginners or newcomers, because you can just dive in, you know, even if you make a mistake, you're staying alive. Now, this might be the best named ability in the whole game that I've seen. So his next ability is called Grenade. I'm gonna let that sink in. So basically, you throw a grenade and it deals damage to an area of enemies. Enhanced, it does apply a burn effect over time, but it is the most straightforward ability you've ever seen. You literally just throw a grenade and it does damage. His third ability is called Overclock, which is the exact opposite of what I had to do to be able to play this game, where I had to underclock my CPU. But what this does is boost his attack and adds a burn effect to his grenades and overkill ability. When this is enhanced, it increases his critical damage. It's basically good for beginners because it's just going to maximize your damage output with absolute ease. It's basically just a buff. So his fourth ability is called Traction Grenade. So basically, this is a special grenade that pulls enemies together. So it'll grip them, bring them in, and allow you then to, you know, throw your grenade out and just explode them for easy, massive damage. The enhanced effect, it just increases the pull strength and the radius. This is great for beginners, or even combining with, say, a character like VIESSA who can use her blizzard. So you'll throw your grenade out, you'll pull them in, she'll throw her blizzard down, you'll lob your grenade, and boom, you've probably killed every single enemy within the whole planet radius with just that one ability. Next up, we have LEPIC's final ability, his ultimate ability. This is called Overkill. It fires a powerful shell at the enemy. The shell is maintained at the landing point for a set period of time, inflicting constant damage. When Overclock is active, it just adds extra burn. So basically, kind of like VS's Blizzard, you just shoot it at a location and let it do its job. So once again, it comes down to 3 reasons why LEPIC is great for beginners. So he has an extremely high damage output, making it so easy to deal with people. He's got huge area of effect skills. So, you know, there's none of this targeted stuff. You know, you might be bad at shooting. So, you know, you just pull him in, boom, use your ability, sorted. And his survivability is really good because you basically get a second chance if you take a critical hit, which is fantastic. The types of players that are going to enjoy LEPIC are just damage dealers and aggressive players. So, like AJAX, you can be aggressive, but you can be like a team player. LEPIC is going to be kind of the opposite. You can be aggressive, but you're just going to be throwing out so much damage. And, you know, with his second survival thing, when you take a complete critical hit and you come back alive, you're just going to get away with it scot-free. So he shines in crowd clearing and high damage scenarios. So you put him with the other 2 starter characters and you're in for a treat. Basically, you want someone on this character, someone on VIESSA, and someone on AJAX, and you're sorted. That's like the Trinity perfection right there. And there you have it, the 3 starter characters. I hope that what I've explained here and shown in the game is going to be enough for you to decide exactly where you want to go from here. All these characters are going to have to learn their abilities as you go. You only start with 1. As you level up, you unlock more. There is also so many more Descendants to choose from. These are just your starter ones. You only get 1, remember that. So make sure you choose correctly, going off what I've stated above. So as you can see, AJAX, VIESSA, and LEPIC all bring genuine uniqueness to the table, and your choice should reflect your personal playstyle. So if you love controlling the battlefield and freezing enemies, go with VIESSA. Big damage, clearing out enemies, go with LEPIC. You want to be the tank and the unbreakable shield of your team, go with AJAX. Now, for a true beginner person, I'm going to recommend starting with AJAX just because he's got a very tanky nature, crowd control abilities, and this makes it great for someone learning the ropes of a game. And your ability to protect your teammates, you're going to be wanted by all teams, and you're just going to be able to soak, and blast through any type of content you want to do on your own as well. All right, you absolute sweats. That's it for me today. I hope this guide helps you choose your best starting character in the game. Let me know in the comments your favorite character and why. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated with all the latest videos. If this does well, then we're going to potentially be seeing more First Descendant videos on the channel. But until the next one, I've been Biggie Sweats. Peace!